Hey guys, first of all, I don't know if you can see it. I'll try and get really close to the camera. But I'm growing a beard. I'm not. I don't mean like I'm intentionally growing a beard. I've just got more than one chin hair now. So I don't even really know if I want facial hair, but that's exciting. Um, so I'm still working on that one major video that I want to work on. It's going to be a bit of a surprise because it's just a big project for me. But I'm currently very busy and don't have time to write out the script for that video and do all the research. So I'm still going to be making small videos for now. But anyway, today I want to talk about traits associated with OCD, kind of continuing my series on OCD. Um, Now, keep in mind, this is just stuff that I've read about or that I've personally experienced that I think is an association with my OCD. So if there's anything that I'm leaving off the list, please let me know. Maybe I'll do a part two. Um, so the first one is body-focused repetitive behaviors, which can be a disorder all into their own. They're usually something like skin picking or hair pulling. Even something like nail biting is considered a a body focused repetitive behavior. Um, but sometimes it's kind of hard to define the line between when it becomes a disorder and when it's just a body focused repetitive behavior, because pretty much everyone does some sort of thing like nail biting or hair pulling, um, but they don't have it to the point of being pathological. There are two disorders that come out of body focused repetitive behaviors. One is trichotillomania, and that's hair pulling, specifically plucking out hairs. It can be head, eyebrows, wherever. Um, and it's often associated with perfectionistic tendencies, like having to make a surface become smooth, or pulling out a stray hair. But it's to the point where it becomes pathological. And it's related to OCD because, again, of those perfectionistic, compulsive tendencies. And a lot of people say that they can't help pulling out their hair or picking out their skin. And so the other one is excoriation disorder, which is skin picking. And I don't know if I have it to the point of having a disorder. I'm not a professional, obviously. But I do definitely exhibit skin picking behavior. I don't know if you can see. I'll try to show you. The lighting might not be good for it. Oh, that's over here. That's part of where I picked at my pinky, and this one too. Um, and I also pick at the soles of my feet and my pimples, which I think picking at your pimples is pretty normal, but again, I have behavior that is sort of OCD-like when it comes to skin picking. And for me, it definitely feels like a compulsion. It feels like in the heat of the moment, I can't control it. So that's something I'm working on. Um, so the next one is hypochondriac tendencies. It's important to distinguish this from actual hypochondriasis, which is now diagnosed as either somatic symptom disorder, I think, or illness anxiety disorder, depending on whether you actually have somatic symptoms to go with it. But I'm not a full-blown hypochondriac in terms of having those disorders. Again, I just have tendencies that are similar to that. For example, when I get stomach issues, I'll often go into this worry cycle of, is this a serious problem? And often it isn't, because I just have stomach issues. But it can spin me into a full-on panic attack just because of that line of thinking. And that's part of the reason why the internet is very dangerous when it comes to that, because you can think you have cancer from the internet. I have several times. uh, but I mean, for people with full-blown somatic symptom disorder, or I'm not sure if that's what it's actually called. I think it's somatic symptom disorder or illness anxiety disorder. It takes over their life. They really feel concerned about whatever symptoms they're experiencing and fear that it could be something really serious. So again, that's um, something associated with OCD. It's actually still grouped in somatic disorders, but a lot of professionals, from what I've read, associate it with OCD. Because again, you're picking up on this small aspect and turning it into this obsession about whether you're really ill. The next one is needing everything to follow a certain order, which is probably the most common trait associated with OCD. Now, I'm not talking about the ordering type of OCD, where people absolutely have to have everything in a certain order, or else it causes them anxiety. I'm talking about if you have another type of OCD and yet have ordering tendencies, because I've noticed that people, even who don't have ordering OCD, will have ordering tendencies, and that's the kind of thing that people will say, oh, I'm so OCD about. And this is definitely something I've experienced. I've always had to eat my meals in a certain order, or organize things in a certain order. It's not to the point of causing me anxiety, which is why it isn't ordering OCD, but again, a lot of people with OCD have those tendencies. Having specific anxieties that cause checking behaviors is the next one. My example is that whenever I put something in the microwave, I immediately have to go back and walk away from it. I immediately have to go back and check that I didn't put metal in the microwave every single time, even when I know for a fact that I didn't put any metal in the microwave. And I've never put any metal in the microwave, but I've still done this pretty much since I first started using a microwave. Again, this is not the same thing as checking OCD, because I don't have it to the point of it being pathological, and I'm sure a lot of other people don't have it to the point of being pathological. But there is a form of OCD that's just based on having to check things. But again, just having tendency of that is associated with OCD. Okay, so this is actually a different form of OCD that there's just been research on, and that's misophonia, or sensory focused OCD. And I think somebody in my comments mentioned they had sensory focused OCD on my last OCD video. So misophonia is people who get very annoyed when they hear a sound like chewing, or a very specific sound that'll just drive them crazy. I don't have any of this, actually, which is lucky, because it sounds like it's just really a pain to live with. I mean, I do have sensitivity to certain noises, but it's not the same thing. So again, this is more, not as much associated with OCD as it being a type of OCD in itself. And again, from what I've read, is very recent in terms of people's understandings of OCD. They didn't necessarily always associate sensory focused OCD with OCD. They thought it was its own thing. The next one is obsessive staring. This is a concern that you're staring at people's breasts or their crotch. Again, it's not a pathological thing for me, but it is something I worry about. I'm like, I was reading that girl's shirt. Does she think I was looking at her boobs? Like, I should have a t-shirt that says, I'm just reading your shirt. But, I mean, for some people, it can be a genuine anxiety that they fear that they're staring at people inappropriately. And then the last one is an eye for detail. This is, again, probably the thing most associated with OCD. I have a really good eye for spelling errors. I can just see a spelling error a mile away. Like, I've corrected my teachers multiple times on spelling errors, and I correct my dad all the time. And it's just a thing that I feel like I have to do because it stands out to me so much. Another example is that I always get annoyed when I see the cursor on the screen when I'm playing a movie on my computer, or I'm watching a movie on a computer with my family. If I see the cursor, I go nuts, and I have to push it out of the way to make it go away. And if it doesn't go out of the way, that really annoys me. So again, just small details just stand out to you. And from what I've read, that's a trait associated with OCD as well. Now, just because you have a couple of these traits doesn't necessarily mean you have OCD. I'm sure there's plenty of people who don't have OCD who have these traits. And I'm sure there's plenty of people who have OCD who don't have these traits. These are just associated with OCD. And or in the case of the ones that are disorders that can be understood as more of a type of OCD. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.